everybody, welcome to this week's Bad Bookers Wrestling Podcast, episode 56. I am your host, Movement. I've got Chris, Jack and Matt with me this week. Say hello, everybody.
Hello everybody. We are here,
Hello.
all of us, for a change. And this is totally not the first time we've started the intro as well, but hey.
Teaching's hard work. I've had a stressful week.
Yes.
So, need say no more, because otherwise I'll be on rant central. How are we all?
Yeah, not too bad.
Doing fine, mate. Doing fine.
Sorry, I have my mic muted. Yeah, I'm good. I
was wondering why you weren't speaking.
I was doing other things.
We are very professional, as always.
Yeah.
So, we've got, I don't know if it's relatively busy this week, news-wise anyway.
Well, because the second shake-up. Apparently shake-ups last 3 weeks now, so...
Mate, shake-ups last the full year, so don't
full year of
start
shake-up.
me on that.
Get in.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that we want to lead in with is there was a sighting at I don't know the production promotion, so someone's going to have to call me out and say, Smoothman knows nothing, but it was a very little house show looks like someone's like...
It was okay. So from what I gather, I don't know the name of the promotion, so forgive me, but it is a production
MKE or something like that.
Something like that. But it's
I remember that much.
Yes, it was. It's run by a friend of Mr. Phil Brooks, aka CM Punk. So I think as like a one-time thing because the venue's closing down or the company's closing down or something. I think it's the venue that's closing down. And he wrestled there a lot when he was sort of early days. Sort of like a one last hurrah, he decided to appear in mask and do a very, very shit GTS on someone.
And it was him because there's a picture that you could clearly see was...
Yeah, it's definitely him. There's no fucking around.
The amount of speculation, though, just from that one video was like the internet went into meltdown.
Well, apparently he's done it a couple of times before, but there's just no footage of it. Because he's appeared like I think the guy Silas, I think his name is. Forgive me, I can't remember.
Silas Young.
Yeah, he says, he's done it. He's done it 3 or 4 times. He's done it a few times, just some other promotions, just all over the place. It was like one-timey gigs.
Well, whatever floats your boat.
Indeed.
Obviously, UFC fights. He's not got many of them coming up anytime soon, has he? Because to be honest, he doesn't want to get into the octagon and get his head kicked in. So.
No, I don't. I mean, he certainly hasn't got anything booked up for UFC. I mean, he may have something. He may end up doing something with Bellator, but honestly, he's got enough money to just fucking retire anyway. And his court case with Colt Cabana's basically ended now anyway. So it's just that's it really. As
well with that, it just means I think we spoke about it last week. CM Punk was going to be AEW's big guy, but he doesn't want to do it. So therefore, that's why we've got Chris Jericho.
Yeah,
sort of.
Yeah, they wanted Punk, they couldn't get him. They got Jericho instead. Nonetheless, I mean, and I don't think he needs the money at all. It's very clear. I mean, he was saying, I think ages ago, he was he'd find checks down the back of the sofa and cash them. They're all like royalty checks because he made millions and millions and millions off royalties, and from merch sales and from because obviously his face was on the cover of WWE 2K13. Yeah, it was him on the front, wasn't it? So
I've still got it from my Xbox 360. It's a cracking game.
So he got a load of royalties from that, as well as all his merch, and from Pro Wrestling Tees, his separate stuff off there, and that's not including the comic stuff he's doing with Marvel at the moment. Still, I believe occasionally he's doing something like that. But yeah, I don't think he needs to do anything. I mean, if he wants to come back, I think it will be with maybe AEW, but not for a long time.
Yes. Sorry, I'm moving my desk around because it's a mess.
Cheers.
There's just loads of stuff in the way. Goldust has officially now left WWE. There was a long kind of tweet where he'd put out a statement saying thank you to the fans, thank you to everybody who he's worked with over the last however many years. It's quite a lot, isn't it?
20 years, isn't it?
At least 20, yeah. And in the Road to Double or Nothing video that came out There was like 3 within a week, I think. Bank holiday weekend, they went mental on the Nightmare Family YouTube channel.
Yeah.
There was a tease of who Cody's opponent's going to be. We now know that it is actually going to be Goldust, but obviously in Dustin Rhodes' capacity. He's still going to wear face paint by the looks of it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's a callback to his character, because obviously he can't wrestle as Goldust. So it's still like a callback to the Goldust-esque character.
I think as well he's going to go half and half, isn't he? By the looks of it.
Yes, something like that. And I think it's a really good idea, and I think it'll be a really good match.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it will sell some more tickets or get more pay-per-view buys or however they're going to do it. And makes sense to me.
I made this comment on. I can't remember who I made a comment to. I think it was Pace Toaster in his stream a couple of days ago about how it's a shame that this doesn't happen in WWE. But the fact that it's happening outside of WWE might mean they get more freedom with it. And it could be an absolute cracker of a match.
It depends how he's kept himself active, because I don't think he's had a match since 2017 or something like that.
Well, no, not televised.
He was in
match.
the grrr.
That doesn't count. That genuinely doesn't count.
That doesn't count.
Name redacted.
So, like, he hasn't had a proper match. He might have been on house shows every now and again, but he hasn't been a consistent wrestler. So, and he's getting on a bit, and you know, you might get a bit of ring rust or the years catching up to him, kind of deal. But yeah, it should be a good match either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the promo as well, the video. I like the fact that he called out Stardust as character, but obviously they bleeped it out, and he pretty much just talked about how it was Cody who came up with that, and well, kind of made it his own a little bit.
Yeah.
Which was quite cool, because obviously there's been a lot of heat with Cody and Stardust, and him saying it was rubbish, and it didn't kick on how much he wanted it to, I think. But oh well.
It is what it is.
Yeah. In WWE related news, Backlash, the pay-per-view, has been reportedly cancelled by WWE due to a Saudi Arabia show. According to the report, the idea of holding an event called Backlash, little more than a week after what is expected to be an event surrounded by controversy, didn't sit well with people within WWE.
Bloody hell.
The Wrestling Observer added extra to this. Meltzer has also come out to say that Backlash has been moved to the 23rd of June, which kind of ties in with NXT TakeOver, I think. Isn't it a TakeOver in June?
6th of
The
June.
takeover on the same weekend as the Saudi show, I believe.
I hope it's not in Saudi Arabia.
No, it's in California, I think.
Okay.
Good.
Yes.
Maybe that's why it confused us all with the 6th of June then. And we were all arguing about when Money in the Bank was supposed to be.
Yeah, I'm
middle of May, isn't it?
I'm happy that Money in the Bank's the next pay-per-view after Mania. It makes total sense because Money in the Bank is so integral to storylines that go throughout the year. To me, it makes sense.
Definitely. Andrade and Selena Vega reportedly went back to SmackDown Live after a request from Fox to have them on their show. That came from PW Insider. If you don't know what we're talking about, the Superstar shakeup happened within 2 weeks, apparently, where Andrade and Vega went back from Raw to SmackDown.
Within a week, mate. It was literally 7 days later.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of things. One, Andrade was virtually the #1 contender for the Intercontinental title, which is on the wrong fucking brand. Two, I think this also to do with needing Latin stars for the Fox brand as well. So I'm fine with it. I don't care whichever brand they're on, as long as they're pushed a bit. I'm fine with it.
I think Andrade will be pushed for the IC title. But
Yes.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, and him and Finn can have some really good matches, I think.
Yeah. Dave Meltzer has come out and claimed that Sasha Banks and WWE are in a stalemate at the moment. Obviously, we've talked about this in the past where Sasha Banks wasn't happy with all the stuff over WrestleMania weekend and wanted to quit. WWE are also reportedly willing to let her sit out the rest of her contract exactly the same way Pat or Neville did if she wanted to. That came from Wrestling Observer.
But they can also freeze her contract as well. They can also freeze the contract similar to what they do.
Once she hasn't wrestled for 30 days, they can add 6 months on the end.
That is bonkers, by the way. This Sasha Banks thing is fucking bonkers. Okay, now I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that for women's wrestling, there's not that much money in it. I'll be honest, and that might come across wrong, and if it does, I'm sorry.
Unless you go to AEW, because they're going to pay them equally.
In the future, maybe.
In the future,
yeah, but right now, I mean, even
They're
6
not.
months down the line, that's...
You're talking 5 years.
I think the top women's stars at the moment is getting 200 grand a year, and obviously the top men's stars is, if we say Brock Lesnar, £12 million, whatever it was.
But
Lesnar's an anomaly.
Yeah,
Can't even say it.
What I'm trying to get at is if Sasha Banks sits on her ass and waits for a contract to run out or does whatever, right? Even if she wants to go to AEW, I can't see it working.
She'd have to have a proper new gimmick change.
Honestly.
Or she'll go back to Mercedes, whatever she was.
Yeah. I honestly can't see it working. Her and her character and her style. Bear in mind, her character, a lot of that was developed by Dusty and her together. But that just, I can't see it working. I can't see her working indies.
A lot of her merch is bought by kids or like parents of kids, and I can't see AEW being
it's not a kid
having as many. I think it'll be kids friendly to an extent unless Jimmy Havoc comes on. But
as Jimmy Havoc,
I don't think you're going to get as many kids at shows at AEW than you are at WWE.
Yeah, to me, it just I don't necessarily. I honestly can't believe that Sasha's getting to the point, or Sasha Banks' character, the person Sasha Banks, is at the point now where she's willing to ride her contract out to the end and go off and go and do what? I mean, I can't see AEW being that big to start with.
But then let's say all this is true with her kicking off and whatnot. What's to say she won't do that again?
Yeah, exactly. You're not big enough to have a fucking. You're not big enough to have a whole women's division built around you. I'm sorry, you're not.
Okay, right. So let's stop there and just let's draw some parallels before you start anything else.
Sure.
When Pac decided.